Hello. Hello, good evening, class. So this is our lesson 2, research conceptualization. I'm very excited to meet you already. Of course, I want to meet you face to face because it's still different when you get to meet your students face to face. Nevertheless, because we we only can do with what we have. So because we cannot meet halfway, I have an 8 to 5 job and you can't be attending the class from 5 to 8. So we will do it this way. But I really hope to meet you one of these days. Okay, I'm planning it to be next week. So I want to know your schedule for next week. Okay, so research conceptualization. Last time we left off with the definition of research, okay? The advantages of research. And I saw in your recitation a lot of aha moments. Oh, I only realized that until now. So I'm happy that at least it was an eye-opener. Our first lesson has been an eye-opener for you about the research, its advantages, and how you can get money out of research. It's not a bad thing to get money out of research because I believe somebody mentioned about the publish or perish rule in universities that, for example, you are a faculty member and you don't get to publish your research, then that's an avenue for you to exit the school because universities and colleges only want to retain faculty members who conduct research. All right. So the the task that I gave you last time about thinking about the three titles, actually each one of you thought of a title. First, it was a topic, and then some gave me a title. That's already research conceptualization, and that's what we're going to discuss today. When you say research conceptualization, it's the process of thinking through the plan. Remember, research is systematic, of the methods that you're going to use, of the design, of the participants, of the locale of your study. So everything about your paper, you have to think about it beforehand so that you can plan it. Okay, so that's research conceptualization. It's like the blueprint for a house. It's like a skeleton in the body. So research conceptualization is a framework to your study. It's doing an outline. This is the plan. I'm going to make a quantitative study about this. I'm planning to use as my research participants BTech senior high school students. And then the locale, of course, the location is in BTech, Baliwag, Bulacan. So everything about research, that's thinking through how you are going to fulfill or to achieve your purpose in research. So that's research conceptualization. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to, these are the things that I will be looking for after we complete this lesson. You'll be able to narrow down your topic. Remember, you gave me a topic or a title in your task, okay, in your activity. What you are going to do after this is that you are going to use that particular example, that particular topic or title that you gave me in the initial activity, and then you try to narrow it down. And what do you mean by narrowing down the topic? We will discuss that later. I'm going to give you examples. The second outcome of this lesson is that I want you to be able to develop a research question. Remember, research is finding answers to questions. So question is the center of research. There has to be a question that needs to be answered. And that's research question. Okay, so not all questions are research questions, and that's what I'm going to teach you in this lesson. I hope you grab a piece of paper and a ball pen and take down notes. It's still different when you take down notes while the lecture is going on. Okay, number 3, apply the different types of research design in any given research. But I don't know if you will be able to reach up to this point because, you know, I don't want to keep the lesson dragging. An adult learner only has 20 minutes of solid time for you to be interested in the topic that you're listening to. As much as possible, I don't want to go beyond an hour in the discussion, because by that time you're already sleepy and you're always standing up and you are doing other things simultaneous with listening to the lesson. Okay, number 4, develop an appropriate research design for your study. Remember, there's a plan. Research has a plan. That's why even before conducting the research, everything is planned already. That's why you have a write-up. That's the reason why the write-up is being proposed before a panel of experts, so that they would know, oh, you have to change your design, so that you can be given comments, and through that you can further improve your paper, so that when you complete your paper already, you will not have to overhaul or to change a lot in your paper. That's the reason why you're doing a research proposal defense. Okay, so those are the things that I want you to understand and learn in this lesson number 2. Last time, let's pick up where we left off. I mentioned to you that the first process in research is identifying a general problem or thinking of a question. And you were able to do that because in your activity, you gave me the justification why you wanted to conduct that study. Although I mentioned in the comments that some of these topics are not researchable, in the sense that you can easily get the answers to these questions. Remember that research uses a scientific process in order to dig deep into the answers to your questions. If it can easily be retrieved from the registrar, if you know what are the advantages and disadvantages of online classes, we know already. There have been a lot of studies conducted on that, and we know the answers to that already. Try to Google it, and it will yield a lot of hits, okay, when you input that question. So after that is the literature review. But since I'm asking you to polish on your topic and your research titles, so I want to focus more here, because after you get your final research title, I will ask you to look for an advisor and start the research process. Although if you are consulting with your advisor, I will still teach you the nitty-gritty details of how you're going to write, for example, the introduction, how you're going to formulate the research questions. We are going to touch on all these that I know you are concerned about. Okay. So again, the process that you are now doing is research conceptualization. And I know that some of you are thinking, wow, it's so difficult. There is a lot of things that are going on in my mind, and I can't help finally getting nothing out of everything that I'm thinking. That's normal. Okay? It's normal for you to be confused. It's normal for you to have nothing at all in your mind when I'm asking you to do something. So don't be discouraged. So conceptualization is the art and practice of discovery. Okay, you are continuously discovering, and you cannot really have a solid title where you can say, okay, this is my title, and I will stick with it until the end of my paper. No, 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 no. What you have, if you're going to be able to finalize your thesis title, is a working title. It's called a working title because it is flexible enough to be changed as you read literature, related literature. Because your mind will have more clarity if you start reading, reviewing the related literature, which is our second research process. And we will discuss that later, but for now, focus on research conceptualization. I asked some of you to finalize the research title. And since you are BE Ed students, your focus, your research focus should be on elementary schools about the problems, for example, being encountered by teachers of elementary students, or the difficulties that pupils are having in terms of certain subjects. So that could be a very rich resource of research. Always go to where you will be working on someday, and that is the elementary school. That way, your research will be very useful to you as you conduct your teaching practice and as you have become full-fledged teachers already. Okay, that's the reason why we want you to go to the field, to go to the elementary school, to partner with an elementary teacher and ask her, "Ma'am, what are the problems that you encountered? I want to conduct a research and I will give you the findings later on. I just need your help regarding this. I will use your students as my participants. If you will allow me, I will help you in this." So that way, you can help each other. You show your teacher, the teacher that helped you, the findings on how, for example, to improve the subtraction and addition of the pupils who are having difficulty with fractions. Okay, so that's the kind of research that we are looking for. Although you can use other research, but the research that I'm trying to teach you is education, research in education. That's why it's RIE. So mostly the design of the research that you're going to use is action research, the research of practitioners. Okay, so conceptualization is the process of not only selecting a topic, but formulating a defensible and researchable research problem. You see, not all problems can be defended. They are not defensible. Not all problems are researchable. Okay, so good conceptualization involves moving from a general topic to a clear research problem. All right. So what is your topic? You have already given me topics, and this topic should be interesting to you. Okay, for example, this is the topic. Inquiry-based learning in a blended learning environment. Another one is the modular approach in depth ed, and then influence of parental support in pupil studies. Now, I want you to take a look at these titles. Number one, inquiry-based learning in a blended learning environment. And some of you have given similar titles. Modular approach in depth ed, influence of parental support in pupil studies. If you have come up already with a topic, the next step that you have to do is to search the literature. Type in the keywords of the topic that you have in mind. For example, inquiry-based learning. Type it in scholar.google.com and then type it in. And then there will be many hits and you will start reading. And from there, you'll be able to clarify your concept about the study that you want to conduct. Okay, so this is an example of a title. Now, we mentioned that it is important. If you notice in some of my comments, I mentioned too general, narrow it down. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Okay, so we need to narrow down your research topic in order to come up with a title. So how can you narrow down your research topic, or how can you further refine and narrow down your research title? You can do it by asking the 5 W's and 1 H. Because you see, a title should carry everything that one needs to know about your research. And I'm going to repeat it. The title should be very clear that the participants, the locale, the variables of your study, and the design of your study are reflected in just the title. Mom, how can we do that? Okay, let's look at the example of topics and titles here. Number one, teacher's daily lesson log template generator and portal. Now ask what? What is this study about? It's about teachers' daily lesson log template generator and portal. Of whom? Teachers. What kind of teachers? Elementary teachers? High school teachers? College instructors? Where? What is the location of that study? It's not mentioned. Ing, 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 ing. It should be there. Okay, those are the things that you have to add in your title. The location, the area of investigation, the participants. And you have to be very specific about it. Okay, now let's take a look at number 2, title. I want you to read with me. Okay, let's read it together. 1, 2, 3, go. The effectiveness of modern teaching method in learning Mandarin as foreign language of the English majoring students of Bulacan State University, Bustos Campus, amidst the presented issues due to distance learning. Okay, I know you got tired reading it because the title is very long. This is an example of an overly narrow title. The title should be not more than 12 words maximum. Okay? So this one, the first title, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That title is so short. But this title, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.2, 23. That's a very, very, very long title. We went beyond already the APA rule that states you need to only have 12 words. Excuse me, 12 words in a title. So both are not good research titles. This one is too broad. Number 1 is too broad. Number 2 is very detailed. Okay. So you have to narrow. That's the importance. Now you have to narrow your topic. Once you're able to narrow down the topic, you'll be able now to formulate your main research question. Everything in research is aligned. They are connected to each other. So if you have a bad title, most likely you're going to have a bad research question. So you have to do well in crafting, in developing your research title. Okay, let's take this number 1 as an example. How are we going to narrow down this very general topic? Teacher's daily lesson log template generator and portal. What do you want to find out? Is there any problem that you see in teacher's daily lesson log? And what kind of teachers are we going to investigate here? Is it high school teachers? Is it elementary teachers? Okay, so let's try to narrow it down. Elementary teachers daily lesson log template generator and portal. And then I'll put a colon, effectiveness. Effectiveness in guiding teachers' lessons. Okay, so what is this study about? It's about the effectiveness of the teacher's daily lesson log template generator and portal in guiding the teacher in their everyday lessons. Okay, so out of that, I will be able to generate the main research question. Is the elementary teacher's daily lesson log effective in guiding them in their everyday lessons? Okay, so that's why you narrow your research title so that you can create or develop the main research question out of that. Okay, so once you have narrowed the topic, work on developing a research question that you want to explore. in research, you have the main research question. And the main research question you can get out of your title. Because remember, the title carries everything that one needs to know in your research. The area of investigation, the participants, the location in your study, including the design of your study. Okay? So this is an example. The impact of distance learning on the academic integrity of college students as perceived by EBEN students. So what is the area of investigation? What is the purpose of this study? The purpose of this study, it's still in the title. The purpose of the study is to find out the impact of distance learning on the academic integrity of college students as perceived by EBEN students. I want you to notice what I'm saying. Okay, that's the purpose. I took it from the title. What now is the main research question that you can get out of the title? This is the main research question. And listen carefully, I'm only looking at the title, and by looking at the title, I can develop the main research question. What is the impact of distance learning on the academic integrity of college students as perceived by BEd students? So you see, the title carries the purpose of the study. You just have to change the wording, and the title also carries the main research question of the study. There is a main research question, and there are sub research questions. But it's important that you know the main research question. Remember, research is finding answers to questions. Okay. So as you revise your title, I want you to bear in mind the characteristics of good research titles. The first one, a good title predicts the content of the research. I mentioned that to you already, that as I read your title, I have to know who the participants are. I have to know the design of the study. I have to know the location of the study. I have to know the purpose of the study. Everything is reflected there. Okay, this is an example of a title. 50 years is long enough. What is the study about? You don't know because it's not reflected. Okay? What is the purpose of the study? You don't know. It's not reflected. Where will the study be conducted? You don't know. Who are the participants in the study? You don't know. It's not reflected. So you see, a good title answers who, what, where, when, sometimes why, sometimes how, but the who, what, where, those are the most important questions that need to be answered by the title. Let's look at this. Another example in letter B. Can you read it? Okay, I'll wait for you. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, you're done. The love and hate relationship with the C preprocessor, an interview study. What kind of study is this? It's an interview study. What is it about? It's about the love and hate relationship of programmers with the C processor. It's not stated, but it is implied. Okay, because the C processor are done by the programmers. So this is a better title than the letter A, because this gives enough content of the research study. Okay, I hope you're getting clearer on how to develop research titles. The second characteristic is that a good title should be interesting to readers. Of course, it should not only be interesting to the readers, it should also be interesting to you, because you are the one who are going to continue and write this. So it should be also interesting to you. But there are ways in developing research titles that are catchy, meaning that they grab the attention of the readers, because you don't read just any study. you look at the title first, and then if it gets your attention, you start reading the abstract and then the rest of the paper. Okay, for example, this is actually an example of a paper that I published in a Scopus Index journal. And letter A is not my title. I just made it up to try to drive home a point. Okay, letter A, the use of gaming app in a child's second language learning. And letter B, it's the same content, but I changed the title to distraction or instruction, the role of a gaming app in a child's second language acquisition. Okay, the better title here is not letter B because it grabs the attention. Uy, distraction or instruction, and then the role of a gaming app in a child's second language acquisition. Who is the participant in this study based on letter B? Come on. You think and you answer in your mind. Who is the participant? It's here. A child. A child. What is it about? It's about a child using a gaming app in order to learn English, a second language. Now, the question that the researcher wants to raise is this gaming app a distraction, or is it a way for the child to get instructed in the English language? Okay, so that's how good the second title is, because it gives you clarity about what the researcher wants to do, even without reading anything in the abstract or in any part of the paper. You will know that your title is good if you leave no questions unanswered just by looking at the title. Okay. So number 3, the third characteristic of a good title is that it reflects the tone of writing. Remember that research, a thesis, dissertation, it's an academic writing. And when we say academic writing, these use formal words. So we need to avoid a casual or a fun title containing flowery or conversational language. These are examples of bad titles. Why bad? Because they reflect a tone of writing that is not serious. And remember, research is a serious matter. Okay. The first example is all this effort to design software metrics? Sure. The second one, should I teach my child programming at the age of 3? Maybe. So the conversational tone that you heard is inappropriate. It's not suitable for research. Remember that. It's good that, for example, you were able to develop an interesting title, but being interesting should not be exchanged with inappropriate. Okay, we want it to be interesting, but not to the point of lowering down the tone of the language. The last characteristic, it should contain important keywords. So keywords are important words and concepts that are frequently occurring in your paper. The variables, when I say variables, these are areas of investigation. These are the things that you investigate. These are the things that you try to look at the relationship or the effectiveness. Okay, so these are the words that are frequently occurring in the study. So this should be in your title. Okay, so using these frequently occurring words will let you introduce the topic, the problem, or the solution right away. That's how important keywords are in a title. Here's an example. The effectiveness of graphic organizers in grade 4 pupils' comprehension of informational text. What is the study about? It's about the effectiveness of graphic organizers. In what? In the reading comprehension of students. Reading comprehension in what? In mathematics? No, in reading comprehension of informational text. Who are the participants in this study? Grade 4 pupils. What is the purpose of the study? To look into the effectiveness. You see, the design is there. Effectiveness of graphic organizer, the purpose. Okay. So if I were to create the main research question out of this good title, okay, I want you to listen carefully. This is how I'm going to create the main research question. I will just look at the title. And from there, I will create a research question. Here we go. Are graphic organizers effective in improving the reading comprehension of grade 4 pupils of informational text? Most of the words I used in developing the main research question, I took from the title. Okay, let's now do the purpose of this study by just looking at the title. Listen carefully. Here we go. The purpose of this study is to determine the effectiveness of graphic organizers in grade 4 pupils' comprehension of informational text. I did not change anything. I just added an introductory phrase at the beginning and I adopted everything. When you are discussing the purpose of your study, you should not use synonyms. You have to stick, even though you have to repeat it over and over again. You have to use the same sentences that you use when you are talking about the purpose of the study. Okay? Because some students use synonyms and the result of that is they change. Okay? The panel members become confused because the wordings are changed. When you change effectiveness to relationship, that means a different design already. So we have to be careful with the words that we use. We have to be consistent with the words that we use in research. Okay, these are sample titles: factors influencing the student's decision to drop out in time of pandemic. And the other one is the impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of the students. You gave a lot of examples of titles when it comes to online learning, when it comes to the pandemic, when it comes to mental health. These have proliferated already in many writings in the internet. So, although these are possible research titles, but then I want you to focus on the location and on the participants, in the context where your learnings in the last 3 years as BE Ed students will be applied in the particular context that you are going to investigate. Okay, we want something that will be very beneficial to you, to the participants, to the schools, to DepEd. Remember, benefits of research. Somebody has to benefit from it. The more people benefit from it, the better the research topic of choice. Okay, so these are the sample titles: factors influencing the student's decision to drop out in time of pandemic. Let's analyze the title. What is this study about? It's about factors influencing the student's decision to drop out in time of pandemic. Where is the location of this study? It didn't say. So you're missing out on that particular detail in the title. Which students? Are we talking about junior high school? Are we talking about senior high school? Are we talking about college students? It didn't say. So you have to supply those things in the title. Okay? The next one. The impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of the students. What is the study about? It is about the impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of students. Where will the study be conducted? It didn't say. Who are the participants in the study? The students. But which students? Junior high school, senior high school, college students, pupils. When you say pupils, you refer to elementary pupils. That's why I'm sure the students are not elementary pupils because you use different terminologies. Okay. So you have to supply everything in your initial title that you gave. Supply what is missing in terms of who and what and where. Okay. All right. So let's use the second example, the impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of the students. So let's try to use third year BE Ed students here. The impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of third year BE Ed students where? In BTech. Okay, now that we have narrowed down the title, let us now create the purpose of the study. So what is the purpose of the study? Look at the title as I develop it. The purpose of the study is to find out, and then I will adapt every word in this title, to find out the impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of third year BE and students in BTech. Now, what is my main research question? Look at the title as I develop the main research question, and I will not go beyond what is written here. I will just rearrange some of the words. Okay. The main research question that this study wants to raise is, what is the impact of online learning environment on the learning outcomes of the third year BE Ed students in BTech? Or, does online learning environment have an impact on the learning outcomes of third year BE Ed students in BTech? You see how easy it is? When you have a good title, you can know the design of the study, the participants of the study, the location of the study, the area of investigation of the study. Aside from that, you can know the purpose of the study. Aside from that, you can know the main research question of the study. That is, if you have a good research title. So that's what you're going to do. We mentioned about the research questions, okay? Out of the title, we derive the purpose, and then we develop the main research question of the study. Of course, because if these are research questions, there has to be a question mark, okay? The research question is a question that provides an explicit statement of what is the researcher, of what the researcher wants to know. Okay, that's the main research question. And then we discuss the purpose. What's the purpose? The second bullet, a research purpose can be presented as a statement. Okay, that's the difference between the research purpose and the research question. The research question ends with a question mark. It's an interrogatory statement. The research purpose is a declarative statement. It ends with a period. Okay? All right. And then out of the title, you have the research question, you have the research purpose, and everything is reflected there. Out of that research title, you can also get the hypothesis of the study. Alright, tapos na ako Ito, gawa lang tayo ng hypothesis of the study. Hypothesis, what we use is the null hypothesis. It's a statement of no relationship. It's a statement of no impact. It's a relationship of no influence. It's a relationship of no effectiveness, meaning that you will use a sentence that goes like this. There is no relationship or online learning environment has no impact on the learning outcomes of the students. You see, I did not use any other words. I simply used what is there in the title. So out of the title, you can get the research question. Out of the title, you can get the purpose of the research. Out of the title, you can derive and develop the hypothesis of the study. So that's the end of our lesson for today. Of course, after a lesson, you will have a recitation, and after the recitation, I will post the quiz in our Google Classroom. If you have questions, I hope that you shoot your questions in our G class after the recitation that you answered, and then you ask your question. Okay, so this is now your recitation, which I will be posting in our G Classroom. Using your submitted title that I graded, you try to narrow it down by reflecting the who, the what, and the where, and then write the purpose using the title, and write the main research question and the hypothesis of the study. Okay? Should there be any questions, kindly don't hesitate to ask me. Okay, thank you very much and have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.